On this episode of the podcast, we take a look at the movie Everybody Knows, written and directed by Asghar Farhadi, starring Penélope Cruz and Javier Bardem. Welcome to He Said, She Said Movie Reviews. This is the podcast where a happily married couple with similar but different movie tastes take a quick look at the movies, helping you make the right decision before your next movie. I'm your host, Tim.
And I'm April.
So in this episode, we're covering Everybody Knows.
I gave it a solid 3.5.
And for me, it was almost a 4, but I'm going to go with 3.5, and I'll tell you about it in a few seconds here. We have no trailer that we didn't already tell you about with this movie, so we're going right into it. This movie is about Laura, a Spanish woman who's living in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and she returns to her hometown outside of Madrid in Spain to attend her sister's wedding. However, the trip is upset by unexpected events that bring secrets out into the open. This movie is written and directed by Asghar Farhadi.
He's known for The Salesman, The Past, A Separation, About Ellie.
This movie had a great cast. It had Penélope Cruz as playing Laura and Javier Bardem as Paco, and then it had a whole bunch of other people in it. But special notes go out to Ricardo, Darín, and Eduard Fernández, who both did phenomenal in this movie also.
Right. And the runtime, although at 133 minutes, it's over my amount, I didn't feel it at all. There was a lot going on in this movie, but I followed it and I was intrigued. There were subtitles.
Yeah, that's the big important note, that this is the whole movie is in Spanish.
Right. But with even with subtitles, having to focus and read that and follow along, it was a fascinating movie about a family. And certainly there's always secrets in every family, but it's also about can we say a kidnapping?
Yeah. The previews or the trailer lets you definitely know that it's about a kidnapping.
Right. And it's just about how everything happens, about how people pull together, about a lot of different history within a family. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm definitely a Penélope Cruz fan, but I thought she did fantastic.
Yeah, she did fantastic. Javier did fantastic.
Oh, he was amazing.
It's a really well-acted movie. Even the rest of the members of the family, because it's a really big family. There's 3 sisters, Penélope Cruz. You never really find out, but it looks like she was the middle child. There's an older sister and a younger sister. Right. And they all have, well, of course, the younger one's the one getting married, but they all have their family members. And it's a big, huge, very, very big extended family that's all coming together in this small little village.
For a wedding.
For a wedding.
Which was absolutely beautiful. And the cinematography on this movie, beautiful shots of the small village north of Madrid. Got a great feeling of that. But I loved all the kids and the different relationships. And I don't know why, but immediately it pulled me in, and I was just glued till the very end.
This is one of those movies with the subtitles that once you get into the movie, you don't really realize you're reading the subtitles anymore. You're following along with what's going on. And it's happening. It's a well-paced movie. Yes, I don't think it was slow at all.
And the dialogue was, I mean, it's going to be, that's a hard part of it because there's so many characters and with all the, the drama really going on. But I thought it was good. I thought that, the details, how they dressed each family member, how they focused in on when the event happened, and just all the things that went with it when someone is missing. It was just, it was very, very scary.
I do have to say something about the dialogue, and this is actually something you and I haven't talked about, April. I lived for a year in Argentina when I was younger, and the family I lived with in Argentina had a movie theater. And I'd often go sit, and this is where my love of movies came from, because I I'd often, during siesta time, when it was really hot, I'd go to the movie theater and I'd sit in the air conditioning in the movie theater and watch movies. And they were all pretty much American movies and with Spanish subtitles. And I'd sit there, especially comedies. I'd end up laughing at a joke in the movie where nobody else in the theater was laughing because it didn't translate. Right. What was interesting, because I do speak some Spanish still, in watching this movie, sometimes what was being said on the screen wasn't matching what was in the subtitles. Just pointing that out.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good point. But I want you to know there's some complex relationships. There's some issues with past relationships too that, you're going to leave this movie and you're going to be thinking about it. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
We've been talking about it still.
I really enjoyed the movie. I thought there was some things that they needed to flesh out a little bit better, which they didn't.
Right, but that was their choice.
The relationship with the family, with the rest of the townspeople, they left some holes there.
Right.
But it didn't really affect the story. But it's because it's one of those movies that you keep thinking about after you saw it, that you start thinking about all the different parts of it and the complexities about it.
Yeah, y'all know by now, too, that when a movie ends, I don't like to wonder about anything when I leave. But this is a movie that's okay. That I left and I had to use my own mind and sense of closure to, put some things to rest. Not saying they didn't do a good job on their end of how they ended it. It just, I'm a little obsessed. I like every single I dotted and T crossed, but they meant to do that on purpose, I think, so that you leave the movie, you talk about it and you think about it. So,
yeah, no, I hear you. And this is, once again, like April said, this is one of those movies that they leave you enough at the end that you keep thinking about it.
Yep.
So I want to go back to the cinematography. I didn't really get to put in my 2 cents worth. I thought this movie was beautiful. They did a really good job of making you believe that you're at this small little village somewhere in Spain. Yeah. There's a scene in the beginning. It centers around wine production too. The family owns vineyards and stuff. And there's this opening scene where Javier Bardem is coming up in his tractor, and there's the dust behind the tractor, and it was a beautiful, well shot movie. I really enjoyed the cinematography.
And the church scenes up in the church.
Yeah, even up in the bell tower and where the bells and the clock were. I mean, it was beautiful, well done. You see the dust in the sunlight coming through the cracks in the clock face.
Yes,
it was a beautiful movie, and it was and the dialogue was great. I can't say enough about this movie. I really think it's a great movie to see.
Me too.
For me, my rating, I want to give it a 4 because it was that good of a movie. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but for me, I would have liked a little bit more wrapped up at the end. That's just me.
Understood. Well, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5, and I hope everybody goes to see it.
Yep. It's worth seeing, and it's worth seeing in the big screen too, because it's a beautiful made movie.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate it. And if you're ever in Atlanta and you want to go to a really beautiful movie theater, please go to the Springs Cinema and Tap House. That's our home theater.
Absolutely. The only heated seats in the state of Georgia, and I believe in the Southeast. Luxury recliners and complete surround system. They have an amazing selection of craft beers, extended bar and kitchen, and the vibe is unbeatable.
And let us know if you're going there to see a movie. We'll meet you there for a movie.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you at the movies.
See you at the movies, and thank you for all your support.